right, so welcome to this webinar, Using AI to Increase Efficiency and Create Value, 10 Use Cases. If you have questions, you can use the Q&A feature of Zoom, and we are going to start right away. Today's speakers, we have Hélène Marin, Head of the Data and AI line of business at Livio. She's a visionary leader in the fields of business, finance, and AI. Previously, she founded and directed the world-renowned Microsoft Research AI Lab in Montreal, which develops innovative AI algorithms in the field of natural language. We also have Gordon Huske, who's the data practice lead at Livio. He's an expert in AI and data science, having worked over a dozen AI projects for companies like GM and IBM, and on applications that include sales enhancements, financial services, and risk management. You also have their email if you want to contact them after the webinar. I'm here, co-lead marketing for Livio, to ensure that you get as much relevant information as possible in today's session in as little time as possible. Objectives for today, for you to find inspiration for your next AI projects, identify successes that you could replicate, bring best practices back to your organization, and help you prioritize your initiatives. The agenda, which is jam-packed, we're going to start with 3 use cases, then best practices, 3 more use cases, best practices, 3 more use cases, best practices, and finally, last 10th use case. And we're going to conclude by giving you points of reference in your data and AI journey, followed by the Q&A, where we can go a bit overboard beyond the 30 minutes. But as you can see, it will be jam-packed, so let's go. Quick introduction about Livio before we start. So Livio is a digital native business and technology consulting firm. In terms of our AI and data capabilities, we have 100 plus onshore AI and data science experts, supported by 300 plus cloud cybersecurity and integration experts, themselves supported by 1,600 plus IT specialists and business consultants. And as you can see, we help customers in different industries. All right, our first batch of use cases, batch number 1, some keywords: HR, fraud detection, productivity, supply chain, quality, robotics, and autonomy. First, a project with IBM, AI analysis of expense claims. Overview, it's an AI-enabled review of the expense claims of 250,000 employees to speed up the process and detect anomalies and potential fraud. Data sets and integrations for the project, expense claims of 250,000 employees on a regular basis, and also pre-existing data sets for the training of the model. All of that integrated into the company's expense claims application. The AI solution itself and its key features, of course, analysis of the expense claims, fast track of compliant claims, detecting and flagging anomalies, and flag claims underwent a manual review by auditors. And the outcome, a big increase in productivity. So a 400% increase in the productivity of auditors, a faster processing and approvals, and also reduction in the risk of fraud. So that is our use case / project number 1. Project number 2 with a high-tech enterprise level manufacturer. So AI to manage and prevent product defects. Essentially revealing from hundreds of files and millions of lines of data hidden links that could help production and technicians identify problems more quickly and potentially prevent them. Data sets and integrations, so data from test bench in production, data from customer feedback, overall millions of data points. Integration with quality control in production, right? So we're talking about the production of products. And integration as well into some field service tools with the technicians. The AI solution itself, what does it do? Detect and analyze anomalies, build and validate hypotheses on the source of defects in the products. Also AI for remediation, so prediction of defects on networks of industrial equipment. So those were not standalone products, those were products operating in networks. And finally, recommendations to prevent defects, including for suppliers, because this is across a whole supply chain. Outcomes, so the ability to identify issues both internally and in the supply chain, and they'll helping find solutions, including with suppliers, to increase quality, productivity, and by those improvements, reduce OpEx. So that's our use case project number 2. Use case project number 3, for those familiar, the Lunar Gateway project is going to send a space station to orbit around the moon. We are part of this project along with many other vendors and suppliers. And our contribution is going to be integrated into Canadarm3, which is the AI-enabled autonomous robot arm planned for the Lunar Gateway project. Essentially, with AI, the robot arm will be able to walk across the station, inspect, maintain, and help prepare the station, relocate modules, help astronauts do spacewalks, as well as catch spacecrafts. And the outcomes, new autonomous robot capabilities in aerospace, helping mankind push the boundaries of our presence in space. Now I'd like to invite our senior experts, Hélène Marin and Gordon, to give us some best practices from these projects or from AI data in general. So Hélène, Gordon, what you would like to mention?
Yeah, thank you, David. Yeah, I think like the Lunar Gateway project is something that we can definitely talk about. Like essentially, it's a project that has lots of complexity by nature. Like it's an international collaboration, and it's a project in space. So there is no margin for error when we're talking about like coming up with a solution for a space station. It has stretched us to, the limit and this elite category of, provider to deploy like solution in this like such in an environment. It is a true North Star for us, and we have learned so much, and we were able to apply the same rigor we deployed with the Lunar Gateway projects throughout our organization at Levio. Gordon?
Thanks, Elaine. Yeah, that's a great point, and I think I can segue nicely from that because one of the features of the expense claim project was that the client, working with Levio, we did a tremendous amount of upfront analysis to make sure that the relatively complicated model that we were using and feature set to identify potential problems was really thoroughly evaluated. A lot of analysis went into that to make sure that the results that we were producing and presenting to the human analysts to follow up were really of high quality. And I think that's something that we learned from that. You can't cut corners in establishing the quality of those of that basic analysis.
All right, thank you, Gordon. And we're going to move on to our batch number 2. Keywords for this batch of use cases and projects: process optimization, continuous improvement, computer vision, approval processes, customer service, leveraging your data sets, and the touchless enterprise. First project of this batch with TELUS, AI-enabled process optimization. So essentially, multiple AI-enabled process mining initiatives across different value chains. Now, one thing to understand here is that process mining can exist without AI and has existed for many, many years. When you bonify it with AI, what it does is that AI accelerate the whole process mining in at least 3 ways. So first, in the mapping, categorization, and summaries of processes and data. So at the initial phase of process mining. Second, AI helps accelerate and I would say deepen root cause analysis and also to create predictive models based on the process mining. And finally, AI helps visualizations to help view key metrics, key elements of processes through natural language queries. So by using AI in process mining, you really turbocharge the whole thing. The process mine with TELUS, there's 4 so far. Customer issue resolution, which is an assurance ticket flow. For TELUS partner solution, an order fulfillment flow. For SMB solution delivery, as well, an order fulfillment flow. And for enterprise solution delivery, as well, order fulfillment. Now, thanks to the AI accelerated process mining, also, I would say more robustly backed with the AI analysis of it, the target improvement areas identified were for the first two processes cycle time, so to reduce cycle time as much as possible. For the third process, to increase quality and reduce costs. And finally, for the fourth process, target area of improvement, increase quality, reduce cycle time, and reduce costs. So all of these process elements identified using AI for improvement. And the ultimate outcome, when you're able to do process mining faster and deeper with AI, is that you're able to go from one process to the next, to the next, and to the next, which really creates momentum for continuous improvement. So here, the benefit is not necessarily a metric per se, as a momentum throughout the organization. Our next project, so with an InsurTech partner called Talem AI, computer vision in insurance, essentially using computer vision to estimate probable damages and injuries related to car crashes and implementing the solution at scale in large insurers. So datasets and integration, photos and videos of cars after car crashes, and all of that integrated into the enterprise claims processing systems of large insurers. The AI solution and key features. So with computer vision, the automated detection of crash velocity, including more precise estimation than when the evaluation is done by a human expert. Also detection of location and severity of the accident, and then leading to actionable AI. So this enables insurers to avoid unnecessary litigation because AI helps validate the claims. It fast-tracks credible claims and again flags discrepancies for human audit. The ultimate outcome, this time quantified, a 5% reduction in insurance claims litigation costs and faster insurance claims processing for better customer satisfaction and operational efficiency. All right, last use case of our batch number 3, so AI for omnichannel customer service. Here at Livio, we do multiple AI-based customer service projects with private and public sector customers. And here we're not gonna target one project, we're gonna talk more about best practices across the board. So first, even though we're talking omnichannel, we recommend that the AI chatbot is the essential first step, which enables companies and organizations to validate many important things before they scale further. So just with an AI chatbot, you're able to validate the patterns of precisions of the AI, time to response, the cost structure of using AI in this way, the scope of cases you want handled by AI, the scope of data sources that you feed it to learn, and the overall AI governance of all of that data. Once that first step is done, then you can scale into more omni-channel, let's say full-fledged contact center with AI. Yes, you can stay with chatbot, but you can expand to email, you can expand to voice, to your company apps, to SMS, to Internet of Things objects, as well as interactions on social media. And as you want your customer to be able to self-service, never forget that in the end, your AI can be backstopped by your human agents. So what the AI cannot handle should simply be escalated to human agents. Now, all of this, let's say, rests on 3 important pillars to understand. First is that training and machine learning of AI is based on your data sets. As a company, as an institution, you already have large data sets that you can use. You already have documentation. You already have logs of your human agents communicating with real customers. You have data from your enterprise systems, your CRMs, your ERPs. You also even have, in many cases, companies will have case-level customer satisfaction. So was the customer satisfied by the case resolution? And that data is logged and tied to the case, which further helps and reinforces the machine learning. And you also have data from your social media interactions, etc. So you're already data rich to train AI for you. Second pillar, well, the rollout can be incremental. So you don't have to roll out AI on all your support cases. So what we simply recommend is that you start with cases where AI in training makes 0 errors, right? And that everything else simply is escalated to a human agent. You don't have to risk AI making mistakes. You can start with a small subset of cases where AI gets it every time. And then you can expand to other 0 error cases, whether they are tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. And finally, just like you can incrementally roll out to certain cases, you can incrementally roll out to certain channels. You can start with chatbot, and when you're comfortable, you can expand to email, SMS, apps, etc. So those are overall best practices for going towards AI for omni-channel customer service. And now back to our experts. Hélène, what are best practices you'd like to mention following this batch number 2?
Yeah, it's gonna be like Gen AI and the chatbot. There's so many, hype around that. There's lots of expectation that are being created by, the media, but also by our own usage of ChatGPT and all these solutions. So there's also like lots of democratization of tools, to come up and create these solutions. But unfortunately, like in most cases, the result is not meeting the expectation. So people are starting to learn that if you want to deploy like a real good chatbot that truly answer the question and provide a good user and client experience, like you need to spend time to develop it. Yeah.
So not necessarily quick wins or shortcuts. It's better to do it right.
Right. Yes. So we're all learning in that process.
All right. Thank you, Gordon.
Yeah, and I think that what this covers not just sort of the projects that you're running, but also the technologies that you're interested in acquiring. So, for example, in the case of Talem AI, one of the challenges for a potential client for Talem is that they need to not only have purchase a reliable system, but they need to actually build trust in the system. And that's like a whole separate step. So when you can start out with testing the reliability, that's a relatively straightforward process, although even that is complicated for something as complicated as what Talon does. But then when you know it, when you have confidence reliable, now you have to get the trust built. And that just takes time, and you have to work towards that in a very deliberate way, a change management process, which is not uncommon in IT solutions, but I think it's especially pronounced in these complicated AI scenarios.
Okay, so sometimes the technology might get up to speed faster than the change management of the people involved with the technology.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to go to batch 3. And by the way, we're very good on time. So we will have time in the end for Q&A or expanding on the topics that we've been discussing. So batch number 3, some keywords: one-to-one communications at scale, regulatory compliance, omni-channel marketing, budgeting decisions, social media, public health, and trends in large data sets. So first projects, compliance in healthcare insurance with AI, CHPS caps being a standard in the US. So essentially this project, it's helping a large insurer in the USA leverage AI to comply with caps, which is related to the simplicity of communications with customers. So data sets and integrations, communications between company agents, people, and customers, integrations with the CRM, where these communications are sent and logged. So AI solution and key features, AI analysis, so natural language analysis to validate compliance, with the highlighting here that the compliance is based on the ease of understanding by the customer. So this standard caps is when an insurer communicates with a customer, it has to be easy to understand. It has to be easy to work with from the customer standpoint, to not make it too burdensome from the customer to actually get their insurance money. And AI monitoring, so still within the AI solution, identifying non-compliant communications, which helps identify agents that require more training or coaching. And the outcomes, so compliant with the CAPS standard, and also helping focus upskilling efforts on the employees who really need it. So no need to overtrain employees who are already great at complying with the standard, but able to identify who really needs it through the monitoring analysis of AI. In a large enterprise, here the project is an omni-channel marketing ROI analysis and prediction with AI. So overview, using several machine learning models and omni-channel datasets via a marketing mix modeling approach to calculate marketing ROI across channels. Datasets, digital and new media, as well as data from traditional media, whether it be radio, TV, print, advertising, etc., as well as sales data and data from external factors, geography, population, and seasonal data. The AI solution and its key features. First, AI causality analysis. So a combined analysis of all sources of data to increase the accuracy, including taking into account synergies between channels. And also part of the analysis is having easy to understand metrics in terms of output, such as ROI per dollar per channel spent. As well, part of the solution, AI predictive insights. So this is very interesting, the ability to create scenarios and see predictions of the ROI of each scenario. So you can think of a media mix, an advertising mix, a channel mix, and being able to see before you spend the money, the prediction of ROI and play with these models. Outcomes, thanks to this solution, the customer is able to optimize marketing budget decisions, including optimizing scenarios based on different priorities, whether it's budget efficacy, whether it's sales targets, or whether it's profitability. I believe last use case of Dispatch, so with Kids Help Phone. Kids Help Phone is a youth mental health nonprofit with 4.5 million youth interactions per year. And the project is AI social media listening and sentiment analysis. Essentially listening to TikTok and Instagram to detect distress signals in youth mental health. Datasets and integrations were analyzed over 45 million messages. Also, in the datasets, input from mental health experts to help machine learning. So not just data, but also input from experts to validate the model. Integrations with data from TikTok and Instagram, of course, including the challenges of working with API updates, which sometimes make the data gathering harder. AI solution and key features. So for this specific use case, it's to develop a specific machine learning models, so several models, be able to do sentiment analysis, and identify patterns in keywords and other indicators in those messages. And the analysis to be then transferred into actionable AI, so enabling the organization, Kids Help Phone, to improve interventions, adjust their programs, their resource allocation, outreach efforts, and partnerships. And the outcome, well, something that's actually quite novel, a really data-driven approach to decoding mental health trends on social media. This also increased the ability of the organization to meet youth where they are, namely using their own language that the youth use, as well as opening up new possibilities of collaboration with public health institutions. So these unique models and data sets and analysis are not found in many places. And so when an organization is able to develop that, well, it adds value to their partnerships, namely with public health. All right. After this very diverse batch number 3, your inputs again, dear experts. Hélène, you start.
Yes. So I think like one thing that we cannot stress enough, like it's the importance of governance and data governance. When you have projects that are faced with the healthcare, data and personal health data, it's pivotal to have a strong governance in place. So what does it mean is that you have to take the time to really do a clear risk assessment, where, how, and when you can be attacked, or, it could, lead to some issues. and after, like, you really need to look into like how we're going to mitigate those risks. So yeah, very important.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Gordon.
Yeah, and I'll lead in a little bit. I just wanted to clarify one thing about the KHP project. We're looking at aggregated population content, not specific individuals tied to the Kids Help Phone community, which is for specific individuals, but that's all very confidential because of governance, right? Trying to maintain privacy. So you really have to be ultra aware that of what you're doing as you go. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit was the one of the points you raised was about the clarity of the metrics that we're trying to, or the KPIs that we're trying to drive. Really, it's not only helpful to get value out of your systems to make sure you clearly understand what you're targeting and what you're trying to improve, but it really helps the data science team and the whole project team understand all of the different trade-offs they're making along the way. And so, for example, with the first two, the CAPS project and omnichannel marketing, the specific KPIs were very clear. CAPS is in itself a set of KPIs. We were targeting a subset of them. In the omnichannel, it's budget and return on investment. Very clear. Although the complexity of delivering, that's another story. With Kids Help Phone, you're looking at social media and we're trying to get some information about how are Canadian youth feeling, how is their mental health from a really obtuse data source. So, that we spent a lot of time talking about what is it exactly we're looking for? What's the best information we can get? How can we best aggregate and then drill in to this? So I think that's always an important part of the project. Just sometimes it's easy, right? And then other times you really have to spend a lot of time thinking. And I find, generally speaking, anything to do with NLP and especially sentiment analysis, you really have to spend time thinking about it.
Okay, very interesting. So sometimes the KPIs are clear and you're hunting. It's clear, the direction is clear. Sometimes you're more fishing to discover patterns and to learn from the data sets that you're targeting.
That's a good analogy.
All right. Move on to our +1, keyword, research and development. With Ciena, which is a high-tech manufacturer, project of R&D for network optimization with AI. So here we're really in research development on AI-driven network resource management, optimization, and allocation. Essentially R&D for core technology and products, and to see if with AI we can help companies achieve breakthroughs in their own core competency, in their own core products, in their own core services. And here the goal is to create the intelligent distributed fabric engine. If you're familiar with networks, you'll know that self-discovery, assembly, and healing already exists in the market. The goal here was to go a step further with AI to make it even more intelligent, with thinking agents, continuous and adaptive learning of the network, learning based on future state prediction of the network, and network agents being rewarded and influenced by other agents. And the outcome, helping a company innovate in network resource management using AI, specifically for next-gen telecommunications and the Internet of Things. And in terms of benefit, well, it is to develop better network resilience and better network efficiency, which is the end goal of those R&D efforts. So that is our +1. Before we go to Q&A, points of reference in your data and AI journey. So depending on your company, your institution, where are you today? And you might be anywhere in this journey. Maybe your organization is stuck in its legacy systems. Maybe you've started to integrate some of them into larger enterprise systems like a big CRM or ERP or single source of truth. Some of you might be in the mix of migrating some of these on-premise systems to the cloud. Some of you might already have most of your IT backbone into the cloud, maybe closer to being able to be used by AI. And some of you might already have done internal AI projects, or a lot of them, and you're mature in AI. Now, A few things to consider. In most organizations, business units will be at different stages in their journey at the same time. So you might have a business unit who's at stage 4, another business unit who's at stage 1. So that's normal. And challenges 1 to 4, from legacy to cloud, are typically happening in parallel in most organizations. So regardless of where you are, where you start, and even if your different departments or business units are at different stages, Livio can help you progress in your journey from a technology architecture standpoint all the way to custom AI projects. So we're there to accompany you. Don't hesitate to contact us, and have a great day.